Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Fast Leadership Podcast with Arnaud and Gordon, where we look to take the rocket science out of leadership and make it accessible to everybody. And today I wanted to talk about recognition and the power of that. And the reason for that was because I believe, Arnaud, you won an award.
Hey everybody, hi Gordon. Yeah, I did just last week. I won the Best Science Diffusion Person in Belgium award uh, because of the public, because of you guys who voted for me, and thank you for that. I can't say thank you enough for a few thousands of votes for myself. So I got first place. I got elected to that, and I got a nice trophy made out of crystal in my region in Belgium. And so I'm so thankful. And I'd like to say that um, getting the trophy was a recognition, as you said, and the fact that I could mobilize the community around science and around my activities is so wonderful, and it pushes me forward.
Yeah, and when you talk about science diffusion, what you're talking about is taking the rocket science out of science and
Right,
making it
right.
more accessible to people.
Yeah, accessible to everybody, even kids. I mean, kids are great with science, and teenagers sometimes forget about it, and I'd love to get people excited about science. Yeah,
And
yeah.
reconnect to that. So, how did you feel when you got the award?
I feel some warmth in my heart, and it's a bit cliche, but I was feeling like it was the Oscar ceremony.
Yeah, well, so this is why I wanted to talk about the power of recognition. We often talk about reward and recognition, and it's nice to get a bonus and money for doing good work. But actually, when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, whilst money is key, that feeling of recognition, being valued, having done something that other people see as worthwhile is
Yeah.
really important to us.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know about that pyramid at all. So
Oh, Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it's a hierarchy of needs,
Okay,
and it talks about what we want, and at the lower levels, you've got safety, shelter,
okay.
food,
So the
income,
basic needs, right?
the basic needs. So
Okay,
once our security and our safety and food and those kind of things are taken care of, then our the next level of needs that we've got are a feeling of belonging. So we all want to be part of a community, which is why, as leaders, if we can create a team environment, people will want to be part of that team because people want to belong. And then it's about self-esteem,
okay,
um, recognition, and then it's about having achieved your potential and doing something worthwhile. So
okay.
every single one of us wants to feel that we've done a good job, and this is why recognition is so important. And one of the keys with recognition that I tell everybody, when it comes to business, the biggest return on investment comes from recognition because it costs nothing. And if it
Yeah.
engages and empowers and motivates your team, you're going to get a great return from it. So we've got to recognize people as much as we can for big things, but also daily for the small things, because that's going to motivate them and keep them going. And like you now, I'm sure you're going to do an even better job on the
I want to
science
do twice the
diffusion.
job that I was doing.
Yeah, and it's like the when we recognize something, there's a quote that I absolutely love. I think it tells us everything. What gets recognized gets repeated. So when we're recognizing people, we are not only saying good job, well done, we are encouraging them to do it again. So
Okay.
what gets recognized gets repeated. And you just said there, you now want to do twice as well next time. So you can see the power of recognition.
I love it. That reminds me when I was a swimmer a few years back, I was at the European level at swimming, and my
Sorry, can we just take a second to appreciate that, because
Yeah,
to be at national level is good, but to be at European level is very good. So all
but you're a sportsman as well.
hail.
But yeah, that that feeling of competition, I believe, forced us in a way to like to engage into some
Yeah,
competitive fields and become leaders for sure. But what I want to say is that the person training me would I got two different trainers at the time, and one was very genuine in giving recognition, like you did a good job, you did your best, you did, it was a pat on the shoulder, but it was really genuine.
yeah,
The other one I could feel was doing it because he read in some book that it was needed. And it didn't impact me at all.
yeah,
Even worse, it impacted me negatively.
yeah,
So yeah, it did worse than good. So I think being genuine in recognition is something that leaders should do. Am I right with that?
yeah. No,
Can you fake
absolutely.
it?
um, you you can. Well, it depends what you mean by fake it. If I genuinely don't mean it or believe it, then it's going to get picked up. But you can actually say things that are, it's like what sometimes you'll see somebody and you say, "Oh wow, you're looking great today." Now
Yeah,
they're not going to get on the cover of Vogue magazine or Gentleman's Weekly. But if you genuinely think that they look good and you say it with true intention of
mhm,
making them feel good about themselves, even though there might be an element of exaggeration, shall we say,
right.
you can do that because you're not faking it. The compliment might be a little bit exaggerated, but if you genuinely mean it, hey, you're looking great today, and you're saying it because you want them to feel better about themselves, then yeah. But if you're just going, yeah, good job, well done,
Doesn't work, does it?
it it
Maybe
it,
it's a
it
state of
doesn't.
mind to acknowledge the small steps, even the
Yeah,
small step can be seen and perceived as an achievement, right? And you can recognize the work people put in and the efforts and the team spirit and everything, and talk about it,
yeah.
right?
And what do you think we should start with recognizing? Do you think we should wait until we've got a result, or do you think we should start with recognizing effort?
Uh, Definitely looking at the effort first. Yeah, I would as a chief of some group, or as a leader, as a manager even, I would definitely look more about the efforts that people are putting in than the end result.
And
If you Yeah, I mean, it's my opinion, right? But if you look only at the end result, then you miss so many chances to push forward your team.
yeah, and I would just come back to my favorite, one of my favorite leadership quotes, and definitely my favorite quote in this area, and that is, what gets recognized gets repeated. And nobody achieves success with the first effort. So if you
Right.
want them to keep applying that effort, you have to recognize the effort, because eventually, if we keep trying and trying and trying, then we're gonna be successful. So it's with those first steps on the journey that are the most important. It's like you don't wait until a plant is fully grown to start watering it. You start watering the
That's
the
a great
first the
example.
first.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite example is I worked with a German company, and somebody said to me, you know, you shouldn't recognize the effort. You should only recognize the results at the end. And I said to him, how many big successes have you had? And he said, you know what, not that many. And I thought, there's no surprise there. But I said to him, do you have any children? And he said, yeah, I've got two boys. And I said, what did you do when your eldest son took his first three steps and dropped onto his bottom? He said, oh, well, we applauded and cheered. We got the video camera out. We filmed it. We called everybody to look and cheer. And I was like, hmm, hadn't just broken the 100-meter world record. hadn't run a marathon, so why were you doing that? And he said it's because it's their first baby steps, and I want to encourage them to do that, because if they do that, eventually they'll be able to walk, and then eventually
Right.
they'll be able to run, and then maybe one day they'll run a marathon or break the 100-meter world record. It's like, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And you want to take the same approach with your team.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And uh, we're in a society where it's easy to see what we don't do, right? Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about this. I forgot about that. I got no time. I crushed that deadline. I couldn't make it on time, whatever. But sometimes we like to sing in ourselves that we did do something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that recognition of small steps is so important for that.
Well, social media, you know, people might disagree, might have disagreed with Maslow's hierarchy of needs and people needing recognition, but social media confirms it. People are posting stuff because they want to get likes, they want to get comments. And people
Right.
feel good when they get, a lot of likes and a lot of comments. So we crave that, that recognition, that feeling of being valued. And I think everybody in leadership positions should become a chief recognition officer, and you should be recognizing people on a daily basis, but do it in a genuine, heartfelt way that is going to motivate and encourage, not in a, yeah, good job.
I love it. That's a great conclusion for today's episode, right?
Well, I
To
did want
become
to
yeah.
I did want to share one other thing, because there's a model that I tend to use for recognition.
Extra tips for our listeners. I
Well,
love it.
it's the praise model. So Praise, and it
Okay.
should be, and but it might also be the raise model. I still need to think about that, because the recognition, ideally it wants to be public, because
Sure.
when I tell you good job, well done, when people see that, they're gonna that not only will it encourage you to repeat your efforts, it will encourage them to make the effort. So because they will want the praise as well.
So the whole team will
Yeah,
benefit from that.
correct. And
Mhm.
it's more powerful. If you'd have been emailed the Oscar for science diffusion, you'd have felt great. But actually getting it in public just
Right.
multiplies that by 10. Now, I have to say, for some people, a lot of introverts, they would rather just receive the award and not be thrust into public spotlight. But so you should check what people's preference is, but ideally it wants to be public. There needs to
Okay.
be recognition, so give them that positive feedback. It needs to be authentic, so we need
Mhm.
to genuinely feel it. Ideally it needs to be immediate, because you're going to get, the closer to the event, the more the impact of that praise and recognition. And it also needs to be specific, ideally. So you got it for science diffusion. It wasn't just you received an award and you're thinking, what was this for?
Right. Right.
You know what it's from, and we want them to repeat the things that we want them to do. So it can be, that was a great report you created to me. Oh, by the way, I love the detail in the analysis that you did. Or
Yeah.
that was a fantastically well defined report, and it looked great. And then it needs to be done with enthusiasm. So not only authentic, but with enthusiasm. Good job,
Yeah.
well done, you are awesome. So
Put a smile on your face, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Enthusiastic. But enthusiasm is infectious. So, public recognition, authentic, immediate, specific, and enthusiastic. And if you
I love it because it gives good to the people receiving it, to
yeah,
the whole team, and to yourself as a leader. It feels good to recognize other people's work. It feels so good to say, "Hey, good job." That's great. That you feel that warmth too as a leader,
yeah,
recognizing
absolutely.
others' work.
Absolutely. And also there's another thing to mention on recognition. It is reciproc it's circular. So
Yeah.
if I say to you, you're looking good, you'll say, you're not looking bad yourself. So
Right.
if you want to receive more compliments and more recognition, recognize people. And I really saw this in a company I work with, again in Germany, same company. And one of the people said to me, the business don't recognize the work that we do. And I say, do you ever recognize the work the business does? No, why would I? I said, yeah, but when we're building a system, we need to get the system specification and requirements from them. So why don't you just tell them, great job on the requirements. I really understand what it is you want now. Or great job on the user testing. It's really helped us, identify some flaws. And they said, are you sure? And I went, I'm telling you, if you recognize the business, they will be on a bound to start recognizing you back, because we all want that feeling. And if we don't get recognition, then
Yeah.
we become reluctant to give it as well. And we started recognizing the business, and within 3 months, we started getting feedback from the business. Good job. That was a great system. So it's reciprocal. So if you want more recognition, give more recognition.
You get what you give. I love it. It's a great first step for people wondering how can I start that journey. And well, the first step was to listen to us today, but
Yeah.
the second step would be to give recognition, and then you'll get some back, and you'll get a nicer, kinder environment.
Yep.
And I
And
love it.
one of my favorite books is by Ken Blanchard, Gung Ho. And he talks about, if you're in a company where the performance is rock bottom and there is literally nothing to celebrate, then start celebrating birthdays and anniversaries. Because what you want to do is you want to get people accustomed to the taste
Uh-huh.
of cake. Get
Yeah,
them addicted to cake, and then show them what they can get more cake for. So it, and I saw that and I thought, wow, if you've nothing to celebrate, start by celebrating birthdays and get people used to being recognized, and then
right.
they will adapt their work practices to get more of it, because it is addictive.
It is addictive, as sugar is.
Yeah, yeah, and why wouldn't we want something that generates more effort, that creates more effort from our teams? Why wouldn't we want that to be addictive? That's
Yeah,
how you that's how you blow performance out of the water.
yeah, that's great. It's not only that you get a better and kinder environment, it's that you increase productivity and you increase the sense of belonging and the sense of getting to work. And I love that idea. Yeah. And it doesn't cost much. I mean, it could be a cake,
Nothing.
it could be a pat on the shoulder, it could be anything. It could be a nice wording. It could be yeah, it's so easy. As long as you praise
Yeah,
PRAISE people,
yeah,
that's like for free.
yeah, absolutely. And that's why
And
I
it comes
say,
back to you.
that's right. That's why I say recognition as the best return on investment of anything, because it gets people working harder, and it also
Yeah,
gets you praise back. So
love
win-win,
it.
and then win for the business.
Hey Gordon, you know what? I loved shooting that podcast today with you. It was great, and you gave great tips.
All right. So thanks everybody
I
for
mean it.
listening. Yeah, no, and I appreciate. I can feel the energy and enthusiasm.
Right.
So thanks to everybody for listening. If you've enjoyed it, please share it, like it, comment, give us 5-star reviews, and catch us next time on the Fast Leadership Show, where we take the rocket science out of leadership.
Thank you. Bye bye.